Is this live? Uh, Probably so. What's up, internet? It's the skill issue dev back at it again with another video. So, this video actually is going to be part of my marketing series, right? Or rather, not like marketing, but like my e-commerce app development series, right? Because in the previous video, I had stated that I was gonna get into like Shopify app development, and that is also the reason why I started using what Remix.js in my startup. So yeah, like using Remix, we're going to be building custom Shopify apps. So I've come here with a presentation of the plan behind that, because like at this day and age, bro, everything needs like what like a really good and solid plan. So that is why I am here. So we're gonna be going over this little presentation that I prepared. It's not very good, but like I think it should like get the point across, and I'll do my best to try and explain it. So yeah, so this is it. I'm going to be making custom Shopify apps, right? So now, who am I? So now, for those who are its first times watching, my name is Brandon, and I go by the tech name Skill Issue Dev. So the developer with skill issues, right? And my processes, like I am here to share my processes behind the things that I do starting from 2025. So I'm trying to proper log in, right? I have some experience in development, but not a lot, and have decided to get into like making custom Shopify apps, right? Along with also starting a startup. I know that is like, whoa, you know, you really should not be doing like so many things at the same time, but then like, yo, I'm probably gonna have to learn my lesson the hard way, right? Gonna have to learn the lesson the hard way. So hopefully I learn my lesson soon enough. So currently I'm not like the best developer in the world, right? Like at this current moment in time. Hence why I have given myself the tag name the skill issue dev, right? To say like, yo, you know what? I do have skill issues, but I'm on my journey to try and address that and like fix it up, right? So yeah, with my little experience, I've decided to build custom Shopify apps. Have I done that before? No, but I think it should be fun. Maybe, probably. I don't know, bro. We'll see. Right. So why custom Shopify app development? Like I could have, if I really wanted to get into e-commerce, I could have done like some drop shipping or something like that. But I really didn't want to get into drop shipping because like I just feel like everyone at this point is just drop shipping. So e-commerce is just everywhere at this point, like at this moment in time, from your Amazon to your eBay to your Shopify, everywhere you look it's all e-commerce. So from a business perspective it makes sense, right? Because we're starting a business. But not only that, I feel like every kid my age probably had someone try to sell them some $1,000 Shopify dropshipping course that will help us escape the matrix. But then we have not escaped the matrix. Spoiler, it actually doesn't do jack shit. But anyway, here I come along. I have some relative experience building web apps, and I also have another series of me building a startup from scratch here on YouTube. So it kind of works out for me, I guess, which is what I discussed previously. Like, you know what? Yeah, I am already like kind of working on my skills, so I'm trying to sharpen my skills and sharpen my blades to the best of my ability, and hopefully that works out, right? So, and also the fact that everyone at this point I feel is already doing dropshipping because some guru told them to, and if I joined in on that, I would be no different, right? So what is my unique advantage instead of just making another store? And that unique advantage is that I know how to code. So with my ability to know how to code, we're going to be building custom apps on top of the Shopify platform, right? So it's kind of its own unique niche to start a proper business, right? We move on. So building is good and all, but what are the advantages, you ask, right? Of course, there has to be some kind of advantage or benefit of building custom apps on top of the Shopify platform, right? Because software development is like mad expensive, so there should be something we can work with. And there is, yeah. Main advantages of building custom software for your Shopify store, especially once you are at like a certain level of scale, maybe in the 1 million dollars of like revenue type of scale. Like once you're at that level is when you can really like start considering custom software, right? And also I'm not just trying to like plug myself in. Yeah. So these advantages include custom functionality, right? Have access to very specific features best suited for your use case and not some off the shelf product, right? Every store is different and has different needs, and this way the app adjusts for your store and your needs instead of you having to like bend over backwards to adjust for the app to use it to its full potential. Two, a competitive advantage, right? You'll have an advantage over your competitors, seeing as how they will be all using the same tools, making them virtually the same in an operational standpoint. With this, you'll be able to stand out a lot more and differentiate yourself from the market, right? Three, enhanced operational efficiency, right? Improve overall efficiency and or workflow of your business. Automate tasks and be able to accomplish more with less, right? So, wait, what was this? This is probably an error. This is supposed to be reducing, not using. I misspelled that. I was like typing and typing. So yeah, reducing cost and increasing revenue and customer loyalty. And these are the just the ones that I could come up with, because as you saw with the typing error, I was kind of like typing it real quickly because I had to like get out the ideas. So there's probably a couple of errors in there, but I digress, right? So these are just a few that I could come up with like pretty quickly. So clearly there is a lot of benefits for the business, especially for getting custom Shopify apps, and hopefully I am the man for the job. Well, not right now, but I will be, right? But not just the advantages, but rather what are the problems that these apps, like, would these apps be able to solve for the business, right? So now it's a lack of let's just highlight it. Let's just make this bold real quickly. So first things first, a lack of integration with existing tools within your current stack. What does that mean? Like, have you like, as an e-commerce, if you have like Shopify or something, that these apps that you use, that you connect, have you like, this would also be able to solve the problems. Like, you know what, have you ever seen like two apps that work so well for your store, and have you ever wondered like, yo, what if we just made these two into one app, right? So that is what this addresses, like an integration between these two platforms, right? There's probably something like Zapier, but we'll get into that later on, right? Scaling along with your business as the business grows, right? Because if you're doing like a really good job, it will grow. So as it grows, off the shelf products can no longer do what you need them to do. This is where now you have to start breaking your back and bending backwards to try and adjust to the software, right? Because off the shelf software does what? It tries to like help everyone, right? And as I said before, like e-commerce stores, they are all different and unique in their own way, right? So they need something that's like fits them, right? So these reasons are quite troublesome once your e-commerce store like is a certain size. On the small scale, it doesn't really matter that. Like, I don't think it even matters at all. Like when you're still starting out, or when you're like relatively new, or you still in the low revenue numbers, it doesn't matter that much, right? But once we scale up, this is something to consider very seriously. Also, like maybe thinking like, for the first reason, why not just use Zapier or something, right? Which was something I discussed. I'm like, bruh, Zapier also has its limit, as it tries to be everything for everyone, which is cool and it's good, right? As I stated before, this is like, this kind of software is for when you are a certain size, around like the 500K mark, 500,000, right? But more so like in the millions, right? When you are at that kind of level, that's when you can, look at custom software and be like, okay, this is something how I should definitely look into, right? So, how am I going to build these apps I speak of? Because yo, I'm talking big, I'm talking mad game, so I should be able to back this up with like the actual technical stuff. Like, I actually should know what I am doing, because you can't make such big promises and like not be a man of your word, right? So talking about building something and actually building something are like two very different things. So we need a proper thought out plan. So here is a step-by-step process of how I am going to be approaching this. This is actually just a high level overview, right? Like just like a high level overview. I'm probably gonna be skipping a lot of like important details or so, but we'll address them as we continue on with the series and the development of the product. First phase, discovery phase, which is where we understanding the needs of the business, as each business is unique in its own way. So as I had said, each store is unique and different, like it has its own little charm about it. Two, planning and designing, coming up with mock-ups of the initial design and preparing user flow of how the app work. This is why in the other video I had stated that like, yo, we need to actually start working on what our designing, because we're going to be building a lot of products. The development, actually building the app according to the specification and Shopify developer platform, right? So we actually have to build it. Then four, testing, making sure the app actually works as expected and isn't just some piece of shitty software, right? Because these days the market is filled with shitty software, so I am trying to join that part of the market. Deployment, deploying deploying the app so that the business can actually use it and start benefiting it from somewhere. It actually addresses and solves the problem. And then the last step is currently maintenance. Software will and always will be buggy. It doesn't matter how good you are, it will always be buggy, so it definitely needs to be maintained, right? So this is just like in like boxes. So with the discovery phase, understanding business needs, analyze customer behaviors, and setting clear objectives for what we want from the app. Okay, it's not from, it's from. So many spelling errors. From the app and its objectives. In the planning and design stage, we're designing our user interfaces, create mockups and wireframes and get feedback from the designs to implement in production. Then we have the development phase, which is the actual coding of the Shopify, using its Shopify's API and some SDKs, and incorporating security and scalability, because it has to scale with you as you grow, right? That's the whole point of custom software. Then we have testing, conducting testing to find and remove bugs, because bugs, and then making sure the app works as expected and can handle high traffic requests, right? Then we have the deployment, deploy the app and make sure it's live. App can integrate seamlessly with your e-com store without any hassle. So since we're using Shopify's API, it should be able to handle that connection like without anything. And also like training the team, their team, to actually use the app effectively. So, and then the last step is maintenance, making sure that app is bug free and always up, and adding and removing features based on user feedback, because it is important to use, like, listen to what your users are saying. Now then, onto the tech we're going to use. Shopify bought this JavaScript framework called Remix.js, and this is their supported framework of choice when building on their platform. They do have other SDKs and other frameworks that they support, but their API really plays nicely with Remix.js, so that is what we're going to be using for the front end of the apps, right? I am trying to like get into like a fight with Shopify, trying to use my own stack, and then we get into like a whole argument, and like Remix is actually fun to use, so we're gonna use that. So do I know Remix.js? Nope, but we can learn it along the way and make some serious progress, so I am not too stressed about it. Hopefully I am this optimistic down the line. Actually, I like, as of recording this video, I actually do know Remix.js, because I had to learn it from scratch when I had to like rebuild my startup from scratch. So that's another video for another time. Now for the back end, I have like two options, right? And my blades of chaos, as I may say. Like, I don't know if you played God of War, but Kratos has these two blades. He calls the blades of chaos. They're his like most reliable weapons when going to war. And this is what this is. This being one, Python and Django. I am more familiar with this stack, and since I have used it for a while. And then two, with Express and Node.js. I just recently got into this for the challenge. Like, I started learning this in 2025 so that we can have like a new experience and just challenge ourselves to be better. Now, everyone would tell you to use the tech you're already familiar with, but I am not going to do that. Why? for the love of the game, bro. This is what this is about, for the love of the game, right? Progress comes from putting yourself in crazy situations. So I'll be using the Express.js and Node.js backend, and we'll figure out everything on the way, right? It doesn't matter, bro. We'll figure it out. For my database, I'll be using PostgreSQL, which is hosted on Supabase, and using Prisma as my ORM of choice. So an ORM is an object relational mapper, which basically allows you to connect and make queries to the database. That is how you can like be adding products, removing products, creating custom orders and flows on the store, right? So that will allow us to do that. Now, disclaimer, I am definitely not using MongoDB, and don't ask me why I am not using it. Just know that I am not. Just in case anyone wants to ask me about the MERN stack or anything, I am not using MongoDB. I'm not. Right. That's what it is. Right. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not. So, what's up next after this? Well, since I am building on top of the Shopify API, I need to actually actually spelling, actually go over and create a developer account and start going through the documentation and figure out how to get going. I already have a Shopify account, and I've created the developer platform on the developer platform. So pretty much you can just use your Shopify account that you already have. If you had a Shopify account, you can just use that and log into the developer account using that account, so you don't have to create a separate one. So since I already have that, it was pretty easy, so I just did that already. All you gotta do now is like read through the docs. So that's what I'll be doing, and we'll make another video on the process of getting started and any progress I've made, but as well as discussing app ideas. So this video was more of like an overview of like what we're going to do. We still have to come up with like the ideas and the entire process of how we're going to be building the apps, and it should be fun. It should be fun, right? So that will probably be one of my next videos, going over a list of app ideas to build and record my journey here on YouTube, as I've been doing like so far. So yeah, anyway, that is all that I had for this one, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Brandon, the skill issue dev, is out. Thank you.